Hey, Chris Liepe here. One step closer, Linkin Park, Chester Bennington. Yes, studio multitracks. Super excited to get into these, show you all the production goodnesses that are Linkin Park. Whatever. I have to be really careful with Linkin Park. The copyright owners tend to block things very, very often. As a result, I must be extra brief with my playing snippets and leave gaps in between when I do play things. But I only even have a prayer of doing these because I'm an education channel. I teach people how to sing. So the format of this video is what allows these videos to even be here. So enjoy these tracks with me, enjoy the nuances, enjoy discovering little things you never heard from the original studio mix. And I've got a singing course. It's free. You can join it by clicking the link in the description below. If you have any interest in getting better with your voice, particularly in the area of aggressive vocals, singing with distortion, screaming, stuff that you hear Chester doing, click that link and join me. All right, let's get into this. We'll start, as has been the thing, with some instruments. Drums. Those are some organic sounding drums, more organic than I would have expected. So great. Listening to just the overheads. Oh, you really get a sense for the room. Cool. Bass. Ooh, you hear how they trimmed in the digital file. They went in and they got rid of the noise in between. That's cool. That's a very common thing with really amped up basses. I've done that in a lot of things that I've produced as well. You hear all that buzz? Those lanky strings hitting those frets. That's just part of the sound, and it sounds amazing. You don't really get much of a sense for the detail of the bass, especially in the studio mix. It's really fun to hear that. But it also teaches us a little bit of a lesson. Sometimes your instruments will be quirky sounding and run with it, right? Dig into the quality of the instrument and dig into the quality of your voice. Don't shy away from something that sounds, or that you feel like sounds a little off or weird. Lean into it and see what happens. A lesson from the bass. And here's where we might get in trouble. I gotta play these shortly, but guitar. I like hearing those little cuts every once in a while. You hear the thing in there? These are recorded in the digital domain, and that was a punch without a fade before the stuff got consolidated into one file. I also like this here. These are backing parts, synths, some backing vocals. That's pretty cool to hear. That little clicky sound. How fun. All right, let's get into these vocals, and especially pay attention to the placement in the stereo field and the way that the delays and effects follow his voice. Also, the way that he crescendos his brutality and grit and desperation into his voice. He was one of the best at this. Being able to be so clean and angelic and then sort of sneak the grit and emotion into it. Oh, it's just, and if you ever watched him live, you heard him do this too. It's so fun.
I cannot take this anymore.
Yep.
Saying everything I said before.
That's cool. The delay in time with the 4, it comes in just for the 4. I warned you I'd have to stop a little bit more often for these vocals so that this video can remain on YouTube. Follow the journey with me. Also notice the sort of cupped sound. This is a band-limited sound that they're using, and they open it up later on different tracks.
All these words, they make no sense. I find bliss in ignorance.
Notice how the delay from 4 trails over this next phrase. Also notice this cut breath. So cool.
I'm bliss in ignorance. Less I hear, the less you say. You'll find that out anyway.
That's one of those crescendos I was talking about, right? It's so cool. He goes,
less I hear, the less you say.
With say, it starts to heat up.
I'm bliss in ignorance.
He's like finding bliss in ignorance there, right? He's sort of ambivalent. And then it goes, oh.
Anyway, just like before.
Yes. Anyway. He's got that out front, and then the clean panned out in the stereo field. Super cool.
Everything you say to me, I'm about to break.
Now, this is neat, the way they have these divided up. We get a front row audible seat to the May right here.
May.
And then we have these separate.
Takes me one step closer to the edge.
Listen to all the different ways he's saying these things. Or they're saying these things.
Takes me one step closer to the edge.
We got this guy up here! And then we got these guys that are sort of like half whispering.
Takes me one step closer.
One step closer. It's kind of cool. And then
takes me one step closer to the edge.
It's those layers. It's all those different characters that make this work. But if you listen here,
I'm about to break.
You have the same sort of thing happening. But it becomes the focus.
Takes me one step closer to the edge.
And then
I'm about to break.
It's like the same group is there more intense.
I need a little room to breathe. I'm about to break.
Also notice the band limiting continues on this main line, where the EQ has taken some of the lows and some of the highs out, and it's kind of like this. We have the full fidelity around him in those gang vocals. Interesting. I didn't hear it that way until now.
I'm about to break.
Full fidelity right there.
I find the answers aren't so clear.
Oh, here are we at the end of that.
Clear.
Like the rasp over that and then the delay picked it up.
Clear. Wish I could find a way.
Cut breath there again.
Wish I could find a way to disappear. All these thoughts, they make no sense.
You hear how, right here especially, notice the pitch is not perfect. The delay is trailing over awesomely there.
All these thoughts, they make no sense. I find bliss in ignorance.
Sense and ignorance are a bit out of pitch, sort of, but it fits the angsty thing he's going for.
These thoughts, they make
Thoughts. It's really important to note how forward Chester is when he sings, getting his face out of the way. Thoughts. No. Thoughts. That sort of forwardness in this context, it makes pitch take a very secondary role to the it's like he's punching the thing he's talking to that's not even a person.
These thoughts, they make no sense. I find bliss in ignorance. Nothing seems to go away.
Okay, now listen to how he crescendos the grid again here.
Go away over and over again.
Then I love how Chester would close his mouth over and over again. And have that wonderful like balance between that almost whispered sound with his there's like three things going on, which is what makes his grit so cool. He's got the clean, then he's got the which is that sort of lower false chord engaged sound, and then he's got the going on. So it's like this, and you get a sense of that air over it.
Everything you say to me, I'm about to break.
Notice all those intensities. So cool. And they seem to be getting slightly more intense as they go on. Maybe some of them are flown as gang vocals, but some of them are different.
I'm about to break.
Hear the three components to his grit that I was just talking about?
Everything you say to me, I'm about to break.
Ooh, hear how the delay was pulled on that one. The nuances in his scream. He goes a little sharp there.
I'm about to break. I need a little room to breathe. And I'm about to.
Hear this anticipatory breath?
And I'm about to.
Cool.
Break. 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 Break.
The DJ nature of vocal production. See what's going on here. Oh yeah, cool. The extra organic sounding drums with some of Linkin Park's other sounds. It's such a wonderful blend.
Shut up when I'm talking to you!
These are the things I was really looking forward to hearing in isolation.
Shut up when I'm talking to you! Shut up!
He's got that pitch in there, right? This isn't just an all-out scream. There's music to it.
Shut up when I'm talking to you!
Shut up when I'm talking to you! I mean, that's the note, that's not the sound. That's another part that makes his voice so cool, is there is this melodic sense to his screams.
Shut up!
Whew.
Shut up!
Oh, you got that little break back there?
Break. Shut up!
Shut up! And then, shut up! Shut up! You hear the pitch and the grit. One is layered over the top. It's almost like they're two separate things working together. So cool. And his voice does this better than almost any other voice.
Shut up when I'm talking to you! Shut up! Shut up when I'm talking to you! Shut up!
And I love the letdowns that happen too.
Shut up!
It shows the intensity.
Shut up! Shut up!
It makes me clench every time I hear it.
Shut up! I'm about to break everything you...
What's interesting too is he's pretty much at the same pitch the whole time, which it's part of the melody. I mean, if you listen to this section with the, let's go with the bass.
Shut up when I'm talking to you! Shut up!
Right? And then we have the shut up! So it's like this interval of a seventh that's happening.
I'm talking to you!
But you don't necessarily hear it that way in the full mix.
Shut up when I'm talking to you!
I do now. I can't unhear it. But I don't know that I necessarily thought about him like having a note there until I was able to hear these things in isolation.
I'm about to break everything you say to me! I'm about to break!
Let's listen to these again here.
61 step closer to the edge!
Very articulate.
61 step closer to the edge!
Now here's a question right here on these full-out screams.
Shut up!
Those are still that band-limited and very distorted sounding microphone chain.
I need a little room to breathe! I'm about to break everything!
The contrast there is so cool.
Everything you say to me! I'm about to break! I need a little room to...
There's so much precision in the way that they've produced and trimmed, and you don't hear that on some of the isolated takes or isolated tracks that I've been evaluating lately. These are not very raw. They're very produced and very, very highly edited. That's the way Linkin Park rolled. But they did a great job of not taking away from the intensity with the accuracy that they left enough rawness in there. Of course, how could you not with Chester's voice?
I need a little room to breathe, and I'm about to break.
Thanks again for watching and enjoying these tracks with me. Again, if you'd like help with your voice, dialing in the foundations that will allow you to do some of what you see and hear Chester doing, click that link below and join my free course. We'll see you for more.